got to invest more money in new product. They've got to find a way to do their marketing correctly. And that was an area where the CEO, Carlos Tavares, said he made a mistake. He actually came out and said, he told me just a few months ago.
What Stellantis just did with these 4 US brands is sending a shockwave to the entire car industry. Changes are underway that could completely reshape car manufacturing as we understand it. So what exactly did the CEO do? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new era in the automotive world? And what does all this mean for you and the industry? Stellantis on the brink. The future of Stellantis' 4 powerhouse brands, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler, looks a bit shaky right now. We're not talking about a mere hiccup on the business highway. We're staring down a potential dead end. Stellantis, the result of a hefty merger between Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and the PSA Group, has found itself under fire more often than not. Critics have pointed fingers at a trail of questionable decisions that have left fans scratching their heads, wondering what has happened to the legacy of these iconic brands. And let's be real, these choices haven't always hit the bullseye. There's a direct correlation between their decisions and the very real pressures they're now feeling. Now you might be thinking, just how messy is it getting? Don't worry, I'm about to break it down for you. But before we dive into those juicy details, take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Let's talk numbers. Stellantis is grappling with some serious financial turbulence, especially in the first half of 2024. The company has posted net revenues of $93.5 billion, which represents a staggering decline of 14% from the same time frame in 2023. What's behind this drop? Lower sales volumes and tough market conditions are the culprits. To put it bluntly, this revenue plunge is alarming, especially when you consider they just came off a record-breaking year. In 2023, Stellantis hit an impressive $204.6 billion in net revenues, thanks to a remarkable 6% uptick from the previous year. The contrast couldn't be more jarring, but hold on, it gets worse. The net profit, which many see as the heartbeat of any company, has taken a nosedive, plummeting to just $6.1 billion. That's a desolate 48% drop compared to last year. So what's going on here? This drastic decline can be traced back to a few key factors: slumping sales volumes, soaring production costs, and the inevitable restructuring expenses. Just a year ago, Stellantis was riding high with a robust net profit tally of $20.4 billion. Now, the disparity in these two performances feels like a slap in the face. Let's dig deeper into the numbers. The adjusted operating income has also slid, down to $9.2 billion from last year's healthy $13.2 billion. That's not just a minor setback, it signifies a substantial retreat in operational prowess. To add salt to the wound, the adjusted operating income margin has dropped to 10%. For a company that typically aims higher, this is a significant cause for concern, especially given the ongoing hurdles, particularly in the North American market. And if you think they're throwing in the towel, think again. Stellantis has ramped up its incentive spending by a shocking 166%. Now, they're averaging around $4,404 per vehicle in an effort to stimulate sales, hoping perhaps to turn the sinking ship around. But here's the kicker: even this aggressive strategy hasn't worked out as planned. Their market share has slipped to a mere 8.8%, a downturn from last year's 9.6%. It's like watching a slow motion crash. You can see the trouble coming, but it's almost painful to witness it unfold. But how did they end up here? What exactly happened? The Stellantis National Dealer Council is sounding the alarm, and their message is sharp and direct. They're placing significant blame on CEO Carlos Tavares. What's the crux of their concern? They're singling out his so-called short-term decision-making as a primary factor that contributing to dwindling market share and shrinking dealer revenues. This isn't just a minor issue, it's a pressing situation that requires our full attention. In a letter that made waves when it was sent on September 10, 2024, the Dealer Council didn't hold back. They articulated their frustrations clearly, stating that Tavares seems to be chasing after quick financial fixes instead of steering the company towards sustainable growth that stands the test of time. Sure, his strategies might have given profits a temporary boost, enough to stuff his pockets. But here's the kicker: dealers are rising up in protest against what they see as a dangerously short-sighted approach. They argue that this kind of thinking jeopardizes brand value and market share on all fronts. In fact, the council didn't just express criticism, they sounded a significant warning. They believe we might already be watching the consequences unfold right before our eyes. How's that for a chilling thought? The pressure is mounting, and the landscape for dealers is growing increasingly bleak. They find themselves grappling with a host of escalating challenges while feeling more isolated than ever, lacking the essential support they desperately need from Stellantis. The council didn't mince words when addressing the company's recent choices to slash marketing budgets and alter compensation policies. These changes, they argue, are squeezing dealer profitability to the breaking point. Imagine the frustration. Many dealers are now stuck with a backlog of unsold vehicles cluttering their lots. It's not hard to see how this situation creates a perfect storm of financial strain that ripples throughout the entire dealer network. So what are the tangible effects of these problematic decisions? The Dealer Council highlighted a particularly troubling aspect. Tavares's cost-cutting measures, which were supposedly designed to enhance profits, are actually backfiring dramatically. A prime example is his decision to link dealer compensation to vehicle shipments instead of actual sales. This shift puts dealers in a precarious financial position, leaving them hanging without the sales figures to support their income. Just when you thought the news couldn't get any worse, it does. The ominous threats of layoffs and plant closures loom large, intensifying anxieties about the stability of Stellantis' operations in North America. Cost surge. Sales figures are on a downward spiral, and it's not just a minor dip. It's a serious nosedive, especially for fan favorites like Jeep, which recently took a hit with a 9% decline. That's nothing compared to Ram, which has experienced a staggering 20% drop in its sales figures. In response to this unsettling trend, the company has decided to raise vehicle prices. Now you might be asking yourself, why on earth would they do that? The logic seems simple. Keep those profit margins intact even as consumer demand wanes. Sounds reasonable at first glance, but wait a minute. This approach could be backfiring spectacularly. So what are the repercussions of these price hikes? Affordability is becoming a huge issue for consumers. As prices climb higher, they're sending shockwaves through potential buyers, especially as many households tighten their belts. With interest rates on the rise and a thick fog of economic uncertainty looming overhead, shoppers are becoming increasingly choosy about where they put their hard-earned cash. Who would willingly fork over top dollar for a vehicle that might not even live up to its promises in terms of performance or features? Now, it's crucial to dig deeper, because there's a whole other layer of problems brewing beneath the surface. The combination of soaring prices and plummeting sales has led to a massive inventory backlog that's nothing short of staggering. As of March 2024, Stellantis reported a jaw-dropping 1.4 million vehicles sitting unsold, gathering dust instead of cruising off dealership lots. That's a frightening statistic that far exceeds typical inventory levels in the industry. This overwhelming surplus complicates everything further. Dealers are now left with the daunting task of trying to sell cars that not only risk becoming outdated, but also come with price tags that many consumers refuse to consider. Think about it for a moment. Dealers are stuck holding the bag, desperately attempting to clear out vehicles that just don't align with what buyers are craving right now. With prices climbing and sales bottoming out, it's creating a perfect storm of disaster, one that no one wants to witness. This raises a pressing question. Can Stellantis pivot quickly enough to regain the traction they've lost? Or are they careening toward a path that could lead to an even bigger mess? Just when you think things couldn't possibly take a turn for the worse, here comes yet another challenge. Hurricane engine. Let's dive into a hot topic that's igniting conversations in the automotive world. We're witnessing a dramatic shift away from traditional engines, and it's set the stage for some serious debates. The controversy surrounding engine replacement is no laughing matter. It's a conversation that needs to be had. Stellantis has stirred the pot in a big way by unveiling the Hurricane Twin Turbo Inline-6 engine. This innovative engine is gearing up to replace the classic V8 engines in several of their models, and trust me, it's making quite the splash. The company touts this engine as a means to better fuel economy and reduced emissions, all while supposedly pumping out power levels that are comparable to those beloved V8s. Sounds appealing, right? But hang on, this shift is far from universally accepted. Dealers and consumers alike are raising their voices, expressing skepticism and criticism. When we zoom in on consumer preferences, the picture becomes far more complicated. Loyal fans of Dodge and Ram, who have revealed in the raw power and blistering performance of their iconic V8 engines, are understandably apprehensive about this pivot towards turbocharged 6-cylinder engines. There's an underlying fear that these changes could completely undermine the exhilarating driving experience that these brands have come to represent. Let's be real, when we hear the names Dodge or Ram, what do we think of? Muscle, power, and performance. That's the essence of their identity. The thought of shifting gears into something perceived as less powerful is a tough pill for many hardcore enthusiasts to swallow. Now, let's unpack how the market is reacting to this bold move with the new Hurricane engine. This isn't just another update in the lineup, it's a cornerstone of Stellantis' ambitious plan to improve fuel efficiency and drastically cut carbon emissions. They're taking significant steps towards sustainability, but here's the kicker: the acceptance of this new technology among consumers is still very much a work in progress. In a market that holds traditional engine performance near and dear, will potential buyers really be ready to embrace this new tech? Or are they going to cling to the nostalgia of those roaring V8s that have symbolized power for so long? And let's get down to the nitty-gritty of performance versus efficiency. The Hurricane engine is designed to strike a balance between these two worlds. It boasts two low-inertia turbochargers that promise quick throttle response, as well as advanced fuel injection systems aimed at maximizing efficiency. Impressive, right? But wait, despite these technological advancements and promises, critics are beginning to worry that this transition could alienate a loyal segment of buyers who remain devoted to that traditional V8 experience. This disconnect is real and palpable. It's influencing sales as prospective buyers begin weighing their options against competitors who continue to proudly offer robust and powerful V8s. So, as I have told you about this shifting strategy, it's time to get your thoughts on the matter. Is this move a brilliant innovation that points toward a better, more sustainable future, or is Stellantis missing the mark completely? Will consumers embrace the Hurricane engine, or will they remain entrenched in the past, holding tightly to the excitement and allure of those classic muscle engines? And while we're at it, let's also talk about what these vehicles are offering. Ram? The Ram 1500 Classic has officially been pulled from the lineup, and let me tell you, that's a massive shift in the landscape. This truck has been the go-to entry-level choice for countless shoppers looking for a reliable pickup that won't break the bank. It's been a staple for those who wanted the reassurance of quality without stretching their budgets too thin. However, with this model off the table, buyers are now facing a daunting new reality. The starting price for the base 2025 Ram 1500 will kick off at a steep $42,270. That's a significant jump from the previous $40,700 price tag of the Classic. This monumental shift means budget-conscious buyers are left without a wallet-friendly option if they want to drive home in a brand new Ram. So, what does this mean for overall affordability? The removal of the Ram 1500 Classic has created genuine concerns about affordability within the Ram family of vehicles. With this new price point and the absence of lower-cost alternatives, consumers with tight budgets are feeling the pressure more than ever. Many potential buyers might soon find themselves exploring options from competitor brands that offer more attractive entry-level vehicles. It's a classic domino effect. The diminishing options could push loyal customers away from Ram entirely, leaving them searching for something that fits their budget. Now, let's shift our focus to the rising prices for new models. If you take a good look at the latest lineup from Ram, particularly the 2025 Ram 1500, you'll quickly notice that these trucks are loaded with high-tech features and enhancements designed to boost both performance and comfort. A standout feature here is the introduction of the Hurricane engine family. This impressive new powertrain includes a twin-turbo inline-6 engine, taking the place of the traditional V8 engines. Sure, this engine promises better fuel efficiency and robust power delivery, but here's the catch. All this innovation comes with a price, and we're not just talking about anything small. When we break down the pricing overview, things get even more eye-opening. The cost for various trims of the 2025 Ram 1500 starts around $42,270 for the base tradesman model, but that's just the entry point into a world of increasing expenses. If you're dreaming of high-end trims like the luxurious tungsten model, you could be staring at a staggering price tag that reaches about $89,070. And if what you're after is performance, look no further than the Ram 1500 TRX, the ultimate off-road powerhouse, which starts at a jaw-dropping $98,335. That's not just a pretty penny, it's a substantial investment for any truck. Now, how are consumers reacting to these price hikes? With rising costs and slumping sales, a troubling trend highlighted by a noticeable 20% drop in Ram sales, many buyers are definitely feeling the financial strain. The hesitation is almost tangible as potential buyers become increasingly reluctant to spend their hard-earned money on these pricey new vehicles. Economic uncertainties like inflation and increasing interest rates only add the fuel to the fire, intensifying the already cautious mindset of shoppers. This delay in decision-making can have dire consequences, prompting prospective buyers to either postpone their purchases indefinitely or explore alternatives that may offer better value. Chrysler. This automaker is currently navigating through some seriously turbulent waters. Chrysler is facing a significant decline driven by a dramatically limited vehicle portfolio and numerous challenges that hinder its ability to stay competitive in today's fast-paced automotive market. Can you believe it? Chrysler's lineup has dwindled down to just 2 models. We're talking about the Chrysler 300 sedan and the Pacifica minivan. This alarming development raises major concerns and red flags regarding the future viability of Chrysler in an industry that's evolving at lightning speed. To fully grasp the implications, let's dive deeper into that painfully limited vehicle lineup. The current offerings from Chrysler are concerning, to say the least. With only the 300 and the Pacifica on the table, this lack of diversity doesn't just restrict consumer choice, it places Chrysler at a notable disadvantage compared to competitors who flaunt a much broader range of vehicles. Just think about it. Today's market is dominated by popular SUVs and crossovers that capture the attention of a generation shifting away from traditional sedans. The automotive landscape has undergone a massive transformation, and here we are with the Chrysler 300 struggling to stay relevant amidst such fierce competition. Sure, the Pacifica has made strides in the minivan segment, earning its stripes over the years, but let's face it, the sales numbers simply aren't strong enough to keep the entire brand afloat all on their own. Now, let's unpack the current pricing situation, a hot button topic that's generating quite the buzz among consumers. Chrysler's remaining models are starting to feel a bit overpriced compared to their rivals. Take the Pacifica for instance. Even though it's praised for its family-friendly design and features, many buyers have their eyes set on alternatives like the Honda Odyssey and Toyota Sienna, vehicles that are often seen as more budget-friendly options. This pricing strategy poses a significant barrier for Chrysler, making it incredibly tough to capture the interest of budget-conscious consumers who have plenty of appealing alternatives available to them at more wallet-friendly price points. So, what does this spell out for Chrysler in terms of its competitive edge? The combination of a skeletal product lineup and higher than average prices is steadily eroding its position in an increasingly crowded automotive marketplace. As consumers turn toward brands that showcase greater variety and affordability, Chrysler risks fading further into the background, becoming more and more irrelevant with each passing day. Dodge. This company is also grappling with serious issues related to its inventory and product strategy, which are leading to concerning repercussions for its market performance and relationships with dealers. So what's really going on behind the scenes? To put it bluntly, it's a lot to unpack. First, let's shine a spotlight on the excessive inventory nightmare. Right now, the Dodge Hornet stands out as a prime example of this problem. This compact SUV has, quite frankly, become one of the least popular vehicles in the automotive marketplace today. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. As of June 2024, reports indicate there were a staggering 550 days worth of Hornets just languishing on dealer lots. That means these cars are not exactly flying off the shelves anytime soon. The competition in the compact SUV segment is incredibly fierce. Shoppers have a bevy of other appealing options available that might offer better value propositions. This situation makes it even tougher for the Hornet to win over potential buyers and secure a spot in their hearts and garages. Now, let's take a closer look at the sales performance, because the numbers tell a sobering story. With only around 1,283 units sold in the last 45 days, it's abundantly clear that there's a significant disconnect between what Dodge is currently offering and what consumers actually want or need. This mismatch leaves dealers with a massive buildup of unsold inventory, placing considerable financial strain on them as they incur ongoing costs while holding on to vehicles that very few people are eager to buy. As if that weren't challenging enough, Dodge is also making its way onto the electric vehicle bandwagon. But let's be real for a second. This transition to electrification has resulted in mixed reactions from both consumers and dealers alike. The decision to phase out traditional fan favorites like the Charger and Challenger challenger in favor of electrified alternatives, such as the Dodge Charger Daytona SRT, is commendable from an industry trend perspective. However, it hasn't quite struck the right chord with the loyal fan base that loves the raw power and distinctive sound of those roaring combustion engines. Consumer sentiment regarding this electrification shift is hovering somewhere between apprehension and skepticism. Many die-hard Dodge fans are concerned that the power and performance that catapulted these muscle cars to legendary status simply don't translate well into the electrified format. There's an ongoing worry that these changes might sacrifice the exhilarating driving experience that enthusiasts have come to expect and love. You can almost hear the collective disappointment resonating from those who crave that classic muscle car thrills. Furthermore, let's not overlook the demand for traditional models. There is clearly an appetite for classic muscle cars in the market, yet it feels like Dodge is completely overlooking this dedicated customer base. By discontinuing iconic models without providing well thought out replacements, the brand risks alienating many of its loyal fans, leaving them feeling tossed aside, much like yesterday's news. Jeep. The rising prices of new vehicles, combined with an increasing availability of used Jeep Wranglers, are putting Jeep's competitive edge in the automotive market at real risk. So, what does this mean for car enthusiasts and potential buyers alike? You might be thinking this will create serious turbulence for the brand. Hold on to your seats because the implications are profound. Let's start by addressing those astonishing price hikes that we're witnessing lately. Over recent months, the cost of new Jeep Wranglers has skyrocketed, leaving many would-be buyers in shock. Take the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, for example. Its price can easily exceed a staggering $85,000. That's right, if you start adding in all of those enticing features and upgrades, some configurations are creeping up to an eye-popping $100,000. You may be asking what's behind these skyrocketing costs, and rest assured, several key factors are at play here. One of the pivotal elements driving these prices upward is the incorporation of advanced technology and innovative features in the newer models. These enhancements are designed to elevate both performance and safety, significantly enriching the driving experience. However, here's the kicker. The downside is that all these upgrades come with a hefty price tag. But it's not just about the features alone. We also need to consider the broader market dynamics at work. The automotive industry has been grappling with price increases due to persistent inflation and ongoing supply chain challenges that impact production costs. As manufacturers strive to cope with these economic pressures, guess who ultimately feels the pinch? That's right, consumers, who are now faced with higher prices for the vehicles they desire and deserve. Now, switching gears for a moment, let's turn our attention to the rising interest in used Jeep Wranglers, which are becoming popular cost-effective alternatives. With new Jeep prices climbing to dizzying heights, a more discerning segment of consumers is wisely eyeing the used market for a better deal. And let me tell you, prices for used Jeep Wranglers can vary widely, catering to different buyer needs. You can find some older models listed for as low as $3,999. On the flip side, nearly new options like the 2021 Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 392 can set you back around $6,000. This broad price spectrum allows buyers the flexibility to select a vehicle that aligns with their financial plans while still enjoying that classic Jeep experience and rugged charm. Let's take a moment to talk about those crucial financial benefits. Choosing a used Jeep Wrangler can significantly ease the financial burden on buyers. As new model prices climb ever higher, many consumers are discovering that buying used allows them to enjoy similar features and performance without stretching their budgets to the breaking point. It's an easy way to have your cake and eat it too. As Stellantis navigates this tumultuous landscape of declining sales and rising prices, the big question on everyone's mind is, can they pivot and flourish in this chaotic landscape? Or are they on a slippery slope toward a major crash in the fast-changing automotive world? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.